In the Charleston 9, killing 9 black people at Bible study, including 6 mothers. We went down there and we marched. And I have to be honest, brothers and sisters, when I looked around, there were not a lot of hotepas down there. When I looked around, a lot of your YouTubian intellectual masturbators, they were not there. They were too scared to come on down to Charleston, South Carolina. They said, we'll show up in Baltimore because we run Baltimore. Okay, we'll show up in St. Louis, rest in peace to Michael Brown, because, you know, we got a lot of brothers and sisters in the Midwest and in St. Louis, right? But we don't know about no Charleston now. We'll show up in New York and we'll march for Eric Garner, you know, but we don't know about no Charleston, South Carolina. That's a little too deep in the Confederacy. And I was disappointed. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I was disappointed by the turnout of your so-called conscious leaders and organizers who did not show, who failed to show up in Charleston to march with us, the new Black Panther Party and Dr. Umar and Team Pan-African. And we marched, brothers and sisters. I'll never forget it. This is like the week after the massacre, which took place inside of 𝚂𝚗𝙺𝚵's church. Murder of our non-African brothers and sisters, which included 6 mothers, had a symbolic meaning behind it. They planned it, and I don't think Dylann Roof acted alone. Dylann Roof did not act alone. You're not going to convince me, nobody can convince me, that that boy acted alone. He was sent in to do that. And they did it during the anniversary week, okay, of the great 𝚂𝚗𝙺𝚵 slave revolt, because they wanted to send a message to black people. I said they wanted to send a message to black people, brothers and sisters. And so anyway, as I'm marching with my brother 𝚂𝚗𝙱𝚂𝚗𝚗𝙱 and the other members of the new Black Panther Party, we're marching and we come up to the church that 𝚂𝚗𝙺𝚵 belonged to. 𝚂𝚗𝙺𝚵 belonged to the church where the Charleston 9 massacre of June 2015 take place. And as we marching in solidarity in Charleston, South Carolina 6 years ago, the week after the Dylann Roof massacre, we look at the church, and standing outside of the church, which is one of the oldest black churches in America, standing outside the church was Negroes and Caucasians, right? We're used to seeing that because we love white folks, so that didn't necessarily throw me off. But what threw me off is as we were shouting Black Power with our red, black, and green flags in the air, the flag of the most honorable Marcus Garvey, greatest black leader of the 20th century and greatest black organizer in modern history, we marching. We're not disrespecting nobody. We're talking about no justice, no peace. We screaming Black Power. And as we approach the church of 𝚂𝚗𝙺𝚵, the most notorious of the slave insurrectionists, as we approach the church in June of 2015, the black people and the white people standing in front of the church where the massacre took place joined hands and started singing, "We Shall Overcome." I thought I was having a historical dream, brothers and sisters. I thought I was having a historical dream. You mean to tell me we down here marching for black justice? We down here marching for black life. Dr. Umar, the new Black Panther Party, and other brothers and sisters from the community. We marching for black justice and black life. And the best thing that black folks could do was stand in front of the church, hold hands with white folks, and start singing, "We Shall Overcome." And then to undermine the strength of the protest march that we were having, okay, not only did they sing "We Shall Overcome," holding hands with their oppressor, they started hugging and kissing on their oppressor and saying, "I love you. You are my brother and my sister. I don't blame you for what happened." Brothers and sisters, we wasn't blaming those white folks for what happened. We didn't even know who those white folks were. We simply came down there to march, and we marched all the way up to the home. I believe it was the home of one of those who were massacred by Dylann Roof inside the church in Charleston, brothers and sisters. And we marched there. We didn't come to start no trouble. We came to give black people some peace of mind. Black people need to see brothers and sisters who are willing to stand up for them. That's very important that brothers do that. You understand? So Dr. Khaled did that in Jasper, Texas, after the murder of James Byrd, 𝚂𝚗𝙱𝚂𝙺𝚴, the leader of the new Black Panther Party, Dr. Umar Johnson and others, we decided to show up in Charleston, to show our family in Charleston that we are here and we're not going to let nothing happen to you over our dead bodies. And the best thing them Negroes could do was kiss on their oppressors and start singing, "We shall overcome." So if you want to ask me why we need the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, if you want to ask me why do we need a revolutionary Pan-African nationalistic, not no religion, brothers and sisters, FDMG will have a spiritual foundation, but it will be thoroughly racial, not racist, but racial. It will focus on the empowerment, the liberation and emancipation of African people, brothers and sisters. That is what the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG, International Leadership Academy for Black Excellence, brothers and sisters. We got to get back to Black excellence. That's why we need FDMG. We don't have any more Black excellence. Do you think Dr. 𝚂𝚗𝙺𝚁𝙸𝙱𝚴 would have stood by and let what happened to Eric Garner happen to Eric Garner? Do you think Dr. 𝚂𝚗𝙺𝚁𝙺 would have stood by and let what happened to Breonna Taylor happen to Breonna Taylor? Do you think Dr. 𝚂𝚗𝙺𝚁𝙺 would have stood by and let what happened to our brother Freddie Gray and that brother in Philadelphia who was just shot down, and Philando Castile and Alton Sterling and the brothers and sisters in Atlanta who was murdered by the police? Do you think Dr. Khaled would have stood by and accepted that? He would not. He would not. We got to honor our ancestors because they are our liberators on the spiritual plane. We have to honor our ancestors because they are our liberators on the spiritual plane, brothers and sisters.